Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Wednesday, November the 26th, 2024, and this is Flosstube, I think number 99, might be 98. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch and all the plans and change the plans, and it's always a surprise how much I can get done. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. Thanks so much for following along with all the madness. I really appreciate it. It is the day before Thanksgiving here in America, so I was able to get off work half a day early and started prepping for tomorrow. I made my cranberry sauce, and I made a pecan pie, and I made a pumpkin better than sex cake. I will talk about this in a Flosstube in the future. I did not get a chance to film any, not a Flosstube, a Stitch with Me. I didn't get a chance to film a Stitch with Me this weekend. I was supposed to film 2 and I didn't get to do either one of them, which makes me sad. But at least this way I'll be able to show pictures of what I made for Thanksgiving. I'm excited about the pumpkin cake. Yeah. So I will explain all of that in a Stitch with Me, but won't be for a couple weeks because I get my kids back early because I get them for Thanksgiving this year. And so I will be getting them tonight. Their dad said I could go ahead and get them a day early, so neither one of us have to worry about trying to get them over to my house tomorrow. And then I get them back on Friday. So I'll just get them tonight and just keep them. Okay. So, what did I work on? I don't know how I did this because I filmed on Friday and I had a lot to do over the weekend and I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Here's my board. I worked on everything. I got all of my temperature stitching done and caught up from the carryover from last week. I got all my Monopoly stitching done. Yes, I realized after the fact that I did not count correctly. And the, what was it? The dog, I think, should have not landed on that chance spot because I did too many. But I figured, you know what? Having to work on the GLPs, that's my punishment for not knowing that 4 + 4 = 8 and not 10. So, but I got all my Monopoly stitching done. I got my bake-off stitching caught up, and I got to work on all of my weekly pieces. So that's exciting. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the whips. Okay, first up is my whip of shame for the month of November. This is Riding the Wave by Creative Accents. It was designed by Jim Warren. This is a really, really old kit. My whip of shame, for anyone who does not know, is, I just realized my hair is like jacked up. My whip of shame, for anyone who doesn't know, is I have about 15? I think it was 16, now it's 15 because I finished one. 15 projects that are older than 10 years. 10 years, over 10 years old. And this one is from 2003. So every month we pick one, and but we, I mean you and I, because I have you guys vote on the whip of shame for the upcoming month. So we will go over that later. I'll tell you who the winner is. And my goal is to do about 100 stitches a day. So the equivalent of anywhere from 3,000 to 3,100 stitches, or 2,800 if it's the month of February, depending on the month. So, whip of shame for the month of November is Riding the Wave, and this week I did not work on it every day, I will say that, but I will still have my 3,000 stitch goal by the end of the month. This is where I'm at with it now. So I did 400 half stitches. Yeah, 400 half stitches on this. and it mainly was like all up here. I made a working copy of this. That's why it does not end here. It continues on. But my page that I'm working off of ends right here. So that's why it looks like that. But I want to say that the 400 half stitches were mainly up in the sky, but I feel like I did some down here too. So normally, I will say this. Normally, like, because I play games on Facebook with my stitching. So 2 half stitches equals 1 full cross. And so in the past, I have been counting 2 half stitches as a stitch. So that's why my previous month had so much work on it, because I had done like 3,000 stitches on it. My old one, not this one. And I'd say it was probably about almost all of that 3,000 was actually half stitches. So it really got like 6,000 stitches. I did not do that this month. So that's why the progress is not as great. But I have had a lot going on this month. So I might go, I don't know. So really, if I was counting this for a game, I only did 200 this week. But for right now, I'm counting it as a stitch is a stitch, whether it's half cross or full cross. So that's why, basically I'm trying to explain why it doesn't seem like as much progress has been getting done on this, because I have been counting the half crosses as a full cross. 1 second. Okay, my son was calling me. When you gonna come over and get us? Later. Anyway, so at least he knows now, like they know I film. I think they're both subscribed to my channel. Both my kids are. So, but at least now he knows why, like, I'm not coming over to get him yet. But, anyway, so riding the wave, I don't have as many stitches technically on it as my previous Whips of Shame do, because I am counting a half cross as a stitch. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it that way, or if I'm going to count it where 2 half crosses is 1 stitch. I don't know yet. I'm on the fence about that. Anyway, but that's going to continue getting worked on for a few more days until I get my goal completed. That will easily be completed by the end of the month. Next up, let's do temperature stitching. I always show the Whip of Shame first. So temperature stitching. First up is, you'd think I would have had this better organized, but I kind of just had everything thrown in here. There we go. Thrown in a pile, because like I have like my little 3-tiered cart, and when I work on something and I've completed what I wanted to do on it, I throw it on the bottom shelf of that tier so it doesn't get thrown back in my bag and I keep pulling it out. And then I just pull it out and throw it on the couch when I go to show you guys. So first up is the Twisted Band Sampler. This is from Northern Expressions. And this, here it is. Mock-up. So temperature stitching, real quick, just a quick recap. I assigned 10 pieces to the numbers 0 through 9, and I got kind of the general idea from Siski over at Siski Stitches, and then I adapted it to work better for me and the temperatures that happen here to me in Florida. So I did 10 whips from the numbers 0 through 9, and then I do the projected forecast because I try to stay ahead of my stitching. Some people will look at the previous day and look at the actual high. It doesn't really matter however you do it, however you want to do it. If you want to get the actual temperature, if you want to get the projected temperature, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to do. The whole point is just to get stitches on it, right? So I look at the projected highs so I know what I need to work on. That way, if something needs like 200 stitches, I can go ahead and knock that out real quick. But the one that's assigned to number 0 is the Twisted Band Sampler from Northern Expressions. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm doing it with the DMC conversion that they provide, and I'm stitching it 2/2 on a 28 count white Monaco. This temperature came up 3 times this week. 80 degrees, 80 degrees, 80 degrees. And then apparently next week we're getting a cold front. So this got 300 stitches. Did I do 300 even? Yeah, I did. There was a couple pieces I went a few stitches over to finish a thread, so I just wanted to make sure. So this is where I'm at with it now. And I'm doing, so I was doing like each color, but then I decided for this band, I'm doing both colors that are in the band. So the butterfly things are like 2 different colors. So I'm doing like a strand in one color, then a strand in another color, then a strand in first color, a strand in the second color, just to kind of go back and forth. So I got 300 stitches in on this, and I'm currently sitting at 1,320 stitches completed out of 21,989, and I am at 6% even, 6.00% even. So there is that. And this has 2 more times to get worked on by the end of the year. And then if that temperature comes up 2 more times before the end of the year and I get the stitches done, then it will get replaced with another piece. Or I will change it up temporarily to do something else until the end of the year. It depends on when this needs to get replaced, because I'm going to change everything up in January. So next up is, let me see, Halloween wishes. Hang on one second. I'm looking at my notebook here. That's what I'm looking over. Halloween wishes. Got called once for the temperature. Where it be? Where did it go? Here it is. This is, okay, Halloween Wishes. This is by Glendon Place. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. It says, ghosts and goblins, spooks galore, scary witches at your door, jack-o'-lanterns shining bright, wishing you a, I always get that last part wrong, wishing you a haunting night. I always want to say frightful, haunting night. And I got the thread pack when I got the chart. And so I'm using the called for specialty floss. It is Weeks Dye Works. And then the white is, when I got the thread pack, they sent us Sullivan's white. I'm doing this 2/2 on a 28 count Vintage Stormy Night by Zweigart. And this temperature got called once. This is the one that is assigned to the number 5. I kind of went out of order on this. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, yes and no. But this is the one assigned to number 5. It got called one time on the 24th. The high was projected to be 75 degrees. And this is where I'm at with it now. I worked all up in this word up here. So I got spook completed, and I started on the, is that another, the S for spooks. So there's that one. And this has 4 more times for it to be worked on before it gets replaced. Next up is Christmas. Oh, so I just replaced one of my temperature pieces last week. the number 8, it just got replaced. And so the replacement piece is Mother Nature Christmas. And this is from the Just Cross Stitch Magazine 2023. And that is what she's going to look. Oh, I love her. That is what she's going to look like when she's done. I love her. Oh, I love this so much. So I'm stitching this with a called for DMC on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco 2/2. So she just started in this temperature process. And her temperature got called one time. On the 22nd, the projected high was 68 degrees. So she got 100 stitches, and it was all up here in her, like in the little flower, what is that, wreath or something on her head. And then I started working on her face a little bit, and I filled in some of the hair up the top too. So she got 100 stitches in on her. And so since she just got replaced, she will have 9 more times to be worked on before the end of the year. I gotta say, I'm really digging this temperature stitching because just a little bit here and there gets you a lot of progress. And I've talked a lot of people into doing this temperature stitching. I'm loving it. Stitching Mommy started doing it. She's doing 30 minutes a day on hers instead of 100 stitches exactly. Leanne over at Small Town Stitches started doing it. Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff started doing it. Darren over at Dizzy Stitcher, he just started doing it. I cackled when he was like, oh, I'm jumping on the bandwagon and doing it. I was like, ah, sucker. Okay. But yeah, and I know there's other people that are not floss tubers that have commented saying they're doing it too. So that's super exciting. I love it. But yeah, you can get a lot of progress just doing 100 stitches a day, not really having to pick it. You assign it to the number and you let the temperature guide what you're going to stitch on. You can do 100 stitches, you can do 30 minutes, whatever, just a little bit here and there, and it all works out in the end. Okay, next up is Spanish Sampler. This piece is assigned to the number 9. Its temperature got called once on the 23rd. The projected high was 69 degrees. And this is out of 101 Best Left Designs by Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. And whoops, showed part of a pattern. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. Really cool looking. So the temperature this week was only called once, but I did have some carryover from last week, and I wanted to see if I could go ahead and do that as well, because I didn't get to work on it last week. Where did it go? 1 second. Here it is. So I got that done too. So this piece actually ended up getting 200 stitches on it. And I'm doing it with a called for DMC on a 28 count white casual linen. And I am working on the top, like middle band right there. So I got, I finished the thread that was here. So it's like a little wiggly back stitch. I went ahead and finished this thread here. That was for a cross stitch border. And then I did a strand, stop it. I did a strand of this border here. That's a 4-sided back stitch. I did, I think another strand, maybe 2, a strand and a half maybe, a 4-sided back stitch for that green right there, that greenish color. And then I went ahead and started filling in the ecru and the 3041 full crosses that are kind of going to fill in going across. So not exactly what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to work on the specialty stitches only, and I changed my mind. But that's okay. And then the band will end where those stitches. This is the end of this band. So I will say I will keep working on this until that, like this section, until that band is done. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to do the other corner and then work my way down, or if I'm going to like work down here, and I don't know yet. I don't know that. I just know right now I'm working on this part. I haven't decided about the rest. So this is actually it's actually in temperature stitching, and it's in my Monopoly game. So this has gotten a little bit more than just temperature stitching, which is cool. But that has 5 more times it can get worked on by the end, before the end of the year. The last one for the temperature stitching, this is carryover from last week, Poltergeist Pirates. It is assigned to the number 2, and this is a replacement. So this is the second one that was assigned to number 2. It's by Glendon Place, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So last week, the temperatures were all 82 degrees for highs, and it was 3 times that it came up. I just didn't get a chance to do it. But I was like, well, let me see if I can do like a carryover and get that done. And I did. So I got 300 stitches on it. I'm doing it with the called for thread, like called for everything, called for fabric and all that jazz. So this is a 28 count casual linen in the color Bang by Crosswing Collection. And that's the whole thing, but I worked on Mr. Bones up here. So I ended up finishing his face and his hat with all the cross stitches. And I decided, because he was looking kind of drab, I decided to go ahead and backstitch, do some of the back stitching. That's what the black thread is for. So I got all of this area backstitched, and then I started in on his face to give him a little bit more definition in his hat. So for him, I have to finish his other foot and the other half of his wing, like his other wing over here. And I'll probably go ahead and work on this part over here that he's perched on, so that I can, at least the part that's under his feet, so I can get him completely backstitched. And then I'll kind of work my way back down. So there's that. So I got 300 stitches on this, and this has 3 more times to get worked on before it gets replaced. So since this got replaced, I've put in 700 stitches on it, so that's exciting. Okay, so that's all of my temperature stitching. Let's go over Monopoly stitching. Okay, hang on one second. All right, let me put this over here. Need that. Need this for later. Okay, Monopoly. So the cat, so I play Monopoly. I'll play around after we do all this. And I play with the cat, the dog, the thimble, and the car. And if you guys want to play along at home, you absolutely can. You can do a few different ways. I'll go over it when we cut over to the Monopoly game. I'll go over a couple different ways you can play. But the cat landed on luxury tacks. And for luxury tacks, I do 200 stitches on my free parking piece. I have a whip for every spot on the board. And one moment. Here it is. So I have a whip for every spot on the board. And so the free parking spot actually has 3 chances to be worked on, because one for landing on free parking, another for landing on luxury tax, and another for landing on income tax. So my free parking piece is a stocking from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the Falling Snow. Artwork is by Alan Guiana. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It's $2.96 by $3.93. It has 90 colors. And for landing on luxury tags, I had to do 200 stitches, which I did. And I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And I worked in this diagonal right here and almost got the diagonal completely done. There's just a few more stitches for that diagonal. And then I'll move on to the, I converted it into a diagonal. So I'm currently, let me show you the whole thing that I've done so far. That's the tree. There's the bottom. I'm currently sitting at 20,663 stitches completed out of 78,648, and I'm at 26.27% done. So there's that. And then, so that was the kitty cat. The dog screwed it up. So the dog had rolled doubles. And I'm so traumatized by the dog rolling doubles constantly and landing in jail that I miscounted. And he had actually, I moved him 10 spaces and he had actually only needed to move 8 spaces. But he passed go. That was accurate. And my go piece is my other stocking. So when you pass go, you do 200 stitches on the go whip. If you land on go, you do 400. But he passed go. That is my other stocking. And this is another Heaven and Earth Design stocking. This is the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer. Artwork is by Donna Gelsinger. Darren is actually stitching this in an ornament. So it's more like that, I believe. Aren't you doing that in an ornament, Darren? I think you are. So this guy is also being stitched 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And he is, I forgot to tell you what the dimensions were of it, but he's about 20,000 stitches smaller than my other stocking, so I'm a little miffed that they're not going to be the same size, but it's whatever, because these stockings are going to my kids and they'll take them with them when they move out of the house. Not when they go to college, but like when they move out and get their own place, they'll take them with them, so it won't matter in the end. But this is where I got to. I started filling in the parked threads in this diagonal here, converted this to a diagonal as well. And so I'm currently sitting at, that's the whole thing. There's the reindeer coming in down there. But I'm currently sitting at 12,805 stitches completed out of 55,903, and I am at 22.91%. So there's that. So he had passed go, which was accurate, and he mistakenly, the dog, mistakenly landed on Baltic. He should have landed on Mediterranean, but he landed on Baltic. My mistake, but that's okay because I got to throw a few stitches in on this little piece right here. So by landing on Baltic, the Thimble owns Baltic, and so he had to pay rent of 50 stitches on this right here. This is Spa Gnome by Cute Bordery. You can find this on cutebordery.com. And I actually have not looked to see if her website is still active. She used to be on Etsy. Like, she had her own shop, and then, no, she was with like 2 other people on a shop, and then she went to her own shop, and now she has a website. I have not, I feel like my lighting got darker. Did it get darker? I don't know. Anyway, cutebordery.com. So this got another 50 stitches, and this, I'm doing this on a 14 count Charles Craft Ada. I picked this up at Joann's. It's just like a pink purple. It doesn't really have a name. But this is where I'm at with her now. Bump my tripod. I was trying to see if I could bring the light closer so it's not so dark. That's a little better. But I put my 50 stitches in over here. So the rent is very low for her because she's on side 1 of the board. All the side 1 pieces have very low rents. I am adjusting my stitch counts next year. So we'll go over that in my plans video, which I'm hoping to record in a couple weeks. I was hoping to do it today, but because I wasn't expecting to get my kids back today. It's all right. I'll just do it the next weekend that they're not here. So landed on Baltic, and so he rolled again and got, was it 4? And landed on a chance piece on side 1. And the chance card said that I had a speeding ticket driving to my local needle workshop and I had to do 200 stitches on the jail piece. So that's what I was saying. I figured that was my punishment for not knowing how to math 4 plus 4. That's what I get. And my jail piece is another whip of shame. This is my least favorite. I like it, but it's my least favorite. This is a dimensions kit called A Whole Lotta Latte. It was designed by Barb Tortolot, I don't know. But that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. I wanna say you can still find this on eBay. I've not seen it in the store in a very long time. I feel like I have a cat hair on my lip. It's bugging me. That's why I keep doing that. And I'm using everything that came for in the kit. I wanna say this is like a 14 count black Aida. And so I had to do 200 stitches on it. And I actually ended up doing 208 so I could finish my thread. And that's the whole thing, but I worked all in this cup right here. And I started bringing this border out here. But I got this cup completely done. I'd said before I wasn't going to backstitch, but I might go ahead and do that just so you can get a little bit more definition between the cup and the saucers, cups and saucers. But this is the whole thing. All the cups have been started. And now this cup is officially done except for backstitching. So that's cool. That's exciting. 4 more cups to go. This one's almost done. It just needs like the steam coming out of it. This was my newest one. This one's about 3/4 of the way done, I think. So same with this one here. So that's exciting. We're making progress. So this got 200 more stitches. And then we're moving on to the thimble. The thimble landed on Vermont Avenue and purchased it. And Vermont Avenue is on side 1. So all of the side 1 pieces, it was a light blue. All of the pieces that are in side 1, which is the one going along where go, the direction from go, all of those pieces are 100 stitches to purchase. And so I had to do 100 stitches on that piece, and that is James Dean. Where is it? Here it is. That is James Dean. This is from Stitching Jules Design on Etsy. She also has a website and a Flosstube. But this is James Dean. That is what it's a monochrome piece. I am doing it in 310. Isn't that really cool? This is 170 by 240. So like I said, to purchase, it was 100 stitches. I'm doing it 2 strands full cross on an 18 count Aida in the color, I think it's Hazelwood by Zweigart. I think it's Hazelwood. Pretty sure it's Hazelwood. I did not work down in the shirt like I said I was going to. I came up and worked in his head up here in the hair, because that's also a chunk of like block stitching, and so I wanted to get worked on some of that. But that's the whole thing so far. And I'm currently sitting at 4,892 stitches done out of 12,954, and I am at 37.76%. So that's fun. So now that is purchased, so his rent will be 50 stitches. And again, I'm resetting the game at the end of the year. So we just have like another month of that lower stitch count. And then, so that was the thimble. And then the car landed on B&O Railroad. That is on side 3. The railroads have the same purchase price as the properties. I know it's not like that in the actual game, but that's what I did because I was trying this out to see what I wanted to what worked and what I wanted to change. So the railroad that the car landed on is on side 3, and that was Autumn Sampler by Color Design Studio. Artwork is by Sandy Orton. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm doing it with the call for DMC 2/2 full cross or half, whatever it calls for, on a 28 count tea-dyed monogo. And to purchase this, it was 300 stitches. And I got that done. So I started bringing this border down so I knew like where I was going, but I got the sheath of hay, sheath of wheat. I got the top half of it completely stitched. It needs back stitching still. I did some more of those leaves there, and like I said, I brought that other border over there down some. So I just have a few more of these leaves to back stitch going kind of down this way. And I want to finish the wheat here and then back stitch what I can, because there's stuff that kind of goes along the sides and the bottom of it. But yeah, so I'm going to keep working in this section until I get the stitching done, and then back stitch as much as I can before I move on to another area. And I feel like the next area I might want to move over to is this up here. It's like a banner of corn and apples. It's kind of cool. I like that. Like, I wouldn't do the whole banner because there's like a turkey there, but I would do like this section up here. That's kind of cool. I like that. So there's that. So that's all my Monopoly stitching. And next we're going to do Bake Off. So for Great British Bake Off, that's what Bake Off is. Great British Bake Off, show on Netflix. I took some ideas from Jessie Marie over at Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And so basically what I'm doing is there's 12 bakers on Bake Off that start off, right? It's a competition baking show that's based out of the UK. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And I assigned stitch counts from 100 to 1200. She has a few different ways to play, and I took both of those ideas and kind of morphed them into something that will work for me. So I have stitch counts from 100 to 1200, every 100, randomly assigned to all the bakers. And right now what I'm doing is if that baker gets a handshake, if they get star baker, or if they get eliminated, that the assigned stitch counts get put in on my main piece. And then in the middle of the episode, there's technical stitching. There's a technical bake. I call it my technical stitching. There's a technical bake where they get a recipe that that's a surprise to all of them. They all have the same ingredients, same pared down recipe, and they have to create it. And then they get judged blind and they get ranked from worst to best. So there's a formula that Jessie Marie came up with that I'm using. N times 25 for the last place, and N is the number of bakers. So if there's 8 bakers left, it's 8 times 25, and then N times 50 for first place, and that would be 8 times 50 if there's 8 bakers left. So I do that formula, and then for my list of bakers, if they have an even stitch count, like a 200, 400, 600, etc., I have a close to a whip that is close to being finished assigned to the even people. And then the odd people, 100, 200, 300, I have a whip assigned to those people. This is for technical stitching only. And so whoever gets first place, if they have an even number, the even whip gets the N times 50. And if they're last place and they're even, then the even whip gets N times 25. So it could be that both of the first and last people are even. Both could be odd. It could be one of each. And so for my, so what I was working on was week 4. I'm behind. What I was working on was week 4, and I had to finish it up. So for my main piece for week number 4, nobody had gotten a handshake. And then the eliminated player, or the eliminated baker and the star baker, combining those 2 stitch counts, let me just double check. Combining those 2 stitch counts was a total of 1,400 stitches. I had previously done about 450 something on my main piece. My main project for Bake Off is Honeymoon Sunset. It's 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. It's charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. I've been working, this has been like kind of a focus piece for me this year. And I have an end goal right now to get this to 45% by the end of next year. So last week I had done about 450 something stitches. So I really only needed about 948 stitches to get my Bake Off stitching done. And I was like, oh, let me just round that up to 950. And then I started working on it and I said, screw it, let me just round it up to 1,000, which I did. So I did 1,000 stitches on this. I'll show you where I worked and then I'll show you the whole thing. So my 1,000 stitches, I converted this into a diagonal, and that's where I'm at with it now. So this is exciting because the gazebo's coming in, and so is the house that's next to the lighthouse. So that's cool. So this is the corner of the house coming in. As I get higher up, you'll see the lighthouse getting filled in more too, because it'll end like the diagonal end up here. So I've done 1,000 stitches this week on it, and I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 25 count easy count Lugana. I am currently sitting at 210,448 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 37.31%. Let me just start over here and then I'll hold it up. So there's the tree from hell. I've worked across the top, been focusing on this corner over here. I've gotten some of this middle. My gazebo's over here. I've worked down here. I've worked over here. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I don't want to stand up. I'm gonna have to. I can't tell if you can see it. Here's the whole thing. So I'm at 37.13% done. That's exciting. Like I said, I'm hoping to get this to 45% done by the end of next year. But I might see how many stitches it's going to take to get it to 50%. Maybe I'll shoot for 50% by the end of next year. We'll have to see how many stitches it's going to be. So there is that. Then my technical stitches. First and last place for week number 4, they both ended up having even stitch counts. The person who came in last place had a stitch count of 600 assigned to them, and the person who came in first place had a stitch count of 1,000 assigned to them. So they were both even. So it was n times 20. So, and there was 9 bakers left that week, because again, this is for week 4. So it was 9 times 25 and 9 times 50 for a total stitch count of 675 stitches on the same piece, because they were both even stitch counts. And that was from Little House Needleworks. This is the Calendar Girl series from 2014. So this is Calendar Girls April. So she needed a total of 675 stitches. I had done some stitches last week, so she needed 425 to get her goal done. So I did my 425 on her. I got that goal done. And then I realized how much I had left. And I said, screw it. Kept going to 452. And I finished her. I didn't announce at the beginning I had finishes. But yeah, I got her completely finished. Isn't she cute? I'm doing this with a called for DMC on it. I did this on a 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus, 2/2. But yeah, I gotta finish. I gotta finish. I gotta finish another one. So now I'm gonna have to find a replacement for this in the next few minutes, because I gotta announce what I'm stitching on next. So listen, this bake-off stitching is freaking amazing for me, because of this show, doing these stitches with this show, I have completed 3 whips in the past month because of doing this bake-off stitching. I got that one done, I got my best friend's quotes done, and I got my, what was it? Just One More Chapter piece done because of stitching along with this show. That is pretty effing cool, huh? Okay, so yeah, got my finish. Okay, my weekly focus. I showed you Riding the Wave. All right. Next up is my full coverage piece that I had pulled to work on. This has been sitting, waiting in the wings for a few weeks now. This is Peaceful Jaguar by the Cross Stitch Studio. And it is a crop. It's 325 by 325. It has 91 colors. Artworks by Lucy Bilodeau. I don't know if I said her name right. Peaceful Jaguar. So I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on a 28 count, I think, easy count Lugana. And I'm doing this a little funky. It's going to be very strange before a picture because of how I'm doing this. But last week I was telling you that I'm changing up what I'm doing. So I am doing it, I converted this so that I'm going to be doing all 4 corners, working on diagonals on the, all working my way in so that it ends in the middle. So I got the diagonal here completed. And I didn't do anything in this oh, nope, this is the diagonal I did. So I fixed this one. I had messed this up last week and had it over in the wrong spot, but I went ahead and fixed it. So that diagonal, that teeny little diagonal is done. I did a total of 200 stitches. This diagonal, that was already there last week. And then this diagonal, this little one was done, and I started working on, so what I actually did was I did this little one here. I did this, I filled this in because I had been working on this last year, that page, but I filled this diagonal in, and then I started working on this one over here. So when the next time this does come out, I will continue to fill in this diagonal, and when this diagonal is done, I will come down here and do this diagonal here, and then come over here and do this one here, and then come up here and fill this one in, and then I'll just keep going around in a circle. It'll eventually all meet up and whoop, end up in the middle. But I got 200 stitches on this, and so now I am at 2,408. I know it looks like a mess right now. It's gonna all come together. 2,486 stitches done out of 105,625, and I am at 2.35%. I know it looks very weird and very boring right now, but it's going to end up looking really cool down the road. You just got to give me some time. I just need time to get my idea to come. Well, not my idea. It was Stitched in Peace that commented, giving me the idea. You got to give me time to get this to start showing stuff. Okay. Next up is the non-full coverage piece I pulled a few weeks ago to work on. And this is Christmas Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches, designed by Lindsay Waite. And it says, Christmas rules: deck the halls, drink hot chocolate, hang your stocking, build a snowman, spread joy, go sledding, and believe. I'm doing this with the DMC, and then there's a Gentle Art and a Weeks Dye Works that they give DMC conversions for. So I'm just doing it with the DMC. I am doing this on a 14, 16, count Ada, some kind of gray color. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. Some kind of gray color. I don't really know. And I got 300 stitches on it. All up in this here. This was already all done, as you saw before. But I got my 300 stitches in here. I got to fix it. It's messed up. So I did not realize until I was actually working on this earlier today after I got home from work before I started filming. These two hearts are one stitch too close together. There should be 5 spaces between, and there's only 4, which has thrown off this entire section. This all should be over 1 more stitch. Am I going to pull all this out? No. What am I going to do to fix it? Because there's another heart that goes in here. Because I was like, well, maybe I'll just squeeze it in. No, it's not going to work out. But what I will do is I will just pull this heart out, pop it over 1 more stitch. It's going to be fine. I don't care. Does not bother me. But I'm waiting to do that until later. I didn't want to do that today. But I got 300 stitches on this, so yay. I might also take a second look at that and see if there's a way I could fudge the green heart that's in there, so I don't have to pull that heart out either, because this heart and this heart are connected. So I'd have to like cut this out and frog it, and then I'd have to like weave this end under so that this doesn't start coming out, and I don't feel like doing all that. So I might see if I could figure out how to make that green heart work without having to pull out the other one. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so there was that. And then my focus piece for my son is Yippee-Ki-Yay from Stitchman Darcy. This is a quote from Die Hard. Here it is. It is 191 by 79. Says yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It is, like, I don't know, maybe 10 DMC colors. And I am doing that on like a 14 count, like ivory Ada that I had in my stash. My son asked me to buy this for him and stitch it. And I said, of course, my love. Of course. Anything for you, pumpkin. And I worked on the back stitching on this. So I backstitched I didn't do any cross stitches. So I backstitched the Y and the I. So this P is looking funky because I didn't backstitch this one. But I backstitched the Y and the I. I backstitched the letter R in here. I didn't go around the block, but I backstitched the letter R there. And I backstitched all of the dealios down here. So backstitching wise, if I just like stop, backstitching wise, I still have to do backstitch these up here, the P, and I have to go around this right here. And then I'm like over halfway done with the cross stitching, so that's exciting. So I think when this comes out again, I will go back to cross stitching so that I have more stuff to backstitch next time I'm in a mood to backstitch something. Cross stitching wise, I am at 57.77%. I didn't even tell you, I did 410 back stitches on this. 205 if you're counting it for Facebook games, but 410 back stitches on that. And then the last piece is Halloween Spell. I posted a video on how to wash the grid lines out of the fabric over the weekend. And I figured I may as well go ahead and work on it. I have beading and metallic floss to do on it. This is from Shannon Christine Designs. It's Halloween Selection 2. It's that one right there, Come In For a Spell. So all I had left was metallic and beads. And so I wanted to wash, and I bought it as a kit from Pain Free Crafts. And so it came with Easy Count Ada. So I wanted to get the grid lines out. I wanted to get the Easy Count part out before I did the beads and the metallics. I didn't want that to get messed up. So I started working on it, and I got 287 stitches, and I do count beads as cross stitches. One bead is one cross stitch. So 287 stitches of metallic and beads. And I got to finish. Beep, beep. That's from the thread. That is not thread. Look at that. I got another finish. 2 more finishes. Ha! Ha! 2 more finishes this week. I ended up doing the spider webs here and here, and the spider web hanging out of his butt in the gold metallic. And this is like gold and green beads. Isn't that adorable? Love it. So that is my second finish, and I did this one first, and then did I do this one first? No, I did Calendar Girls first, and then I pulled out this one, I think. But anyway, I did them both in the same day. Maybe I did this one first. But yeah, got my second finish this week for the week. That is exciting. I'm going to keep this out because I still have another pattern to do in this. 2 finishes. Who even am I? That is so exciting. Five finishes for the month of November. Isn't that wild? Okay, let's get my boards updated. So, for my stuff's getting erased because I'm trying to carry it all at once. So my thing's getting erased up here. But for my non-full coverage whip, so these boards are all going to be updated to reflect my plans for next year at a later date. So these boards will be going away some point in December because I need to get them prepped for January. But for now, my non-full coverage pieces, I had 20 to pick from. This is not like Temperature or Monopoly or anything. This is separate ones. And I had goals of 5,000 stitches each on them. And this was, I started doing this in September, and then my plans completely changed. So that's why it looks so weird. But we're going to come up here. I realized today that Autumn Sampler should actually have stitches marked on there because it's a Monopoly piece. And I completely forgot to do that last time I had this out, but it's whatever because it's all resetting in January anyway. But Autumn Sampler I worked on for Monopoly. I did 300 stitches on it. So my goal is dropping from 5,000 down to 4,700. And then the other piece, let me see. The other piece is Christmas Rules, which is right here. So this is going from 302. I did 300 stitches on it. So from 302 to 602. And the goal is dropping from 4,698 down to 4,398. So the idea was that once these goals hit 0, that they get replaced with something else. But like I said, my plans are changing at the end of the year. So, and I believe that was all for this board. Yeah. So then this one's right here, so we'll go ahead and do it. So I have 5 new starts here. My goal was that I would pull a new start, work on it, and then my goal is to get 3,000 stitches on these new starts. So Halloween Spell was one of them. I knew it wasn't going to be 3,000 stitches to get this done, but that was my new start goal anyway. I did a total of 918 stitches. And done. Down here, Calendar Girls April. It's going from, now these are my close to a finished pieces. I have no idea how many stitches it's going to take to finish them. I just know that I was considering these close to a finish. And so Calendar Girls April is going from 550 stitches on it to 1,002. And I don't remember what day I finished this on. I'm just going to put the 22nd. I don't know if that's right. I'm just putting that. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, got that done. And so we'll update my finish board as well. I got to think about what piece I want to put for my replacement. What do I want to replace? What do I want it to replace? Maybe I'll do another Calendar Girls piece because I have 3 of them that are close to being done. Or maybe I'll do, yeah, maybe I'll do another Calendar Girls piece. Okay, so my full coverage board, these pieces had a goal of 10,000 stitches. And then when they hit 10,000, they would get replaced. But again, plans are changing. But we're still tracking everything. So the ones I need to mark are Peaceful Jaguar. This is going from 70 to 270. And the goal is dropping from 9,930 down to 9,730. Yeah, 9,730. And the other one that's actually on this board is one of my Monopoly pieces, and it's the reindeer stocking. So this is going from 1,400 stitches completed on it to 1,600 stitches completed on it. And the goal is dropping from 8,600 down to 8,400. So there's that. Exciting. And my last one is my focus piece board. So done, bitches. I'm leaving that up the rest of the year. My Haid Sal got completed. That was one of my 5 finishes this month. Honeymoon Sunset. I have a goal of 45% by the end of 2025. So this number here, 14,883, this I did 1,000 stitches on it. So this is increasing. I'm just going to do this part here. This is increasing to 15,883 stitches done since I made this goal back in July. And this is dropping from 44,343 down to 43,343. I know my board's a mess. It's okay though. Riding the wave, my whip of shame. My stitches completed is increasing from 1,930 stitches on it this month to 2,330. My stitches remaining for it for the month is dropping from 1,070 down to 670. And if I keep counting the half stitches the way that I'm doing it right now, I could have that done in like a day and a half, if that. Actually, I could have that done in a few hours. Yippee-ki-yay, my goal is to finish it. I will hopefully have this done by the end of the year. But my stitches completed on it is increasing from 3,000, oh, part of it got erased. Was that 670 to 4,080. And my stitches remaining, this is kind of a wonky number because this is cross stitching plus an additional 1,000 of back stitching, but I feel like that 1,000 is not enough. But for right now, we're keeping it. My stitches remaining is dropping from 3,794 down to 3,384. So there's that. I'm so excited that I got 2 more finishes. I was leaving that as a surprise. I didn't mention it at the beginning of the Flosstube on purpose. That's exciting. Okay, so what we're gonna do before I break to play Monopoly, I'm going to pull a full coverage and I'm gonna pull a full coverage and a non-full coverage out of my baskets here to replace the 2 pieces I worked on. So I think this is non-full coverage, or is this full coverage? No, I think this is full coverage. Yay! Fairy Tale Cottage. Oh, that's exciting. And then the non-full coverage, let me make sure they're all in the same corner. My non-full coverage for the week, 2 weeks, whatever, is going to be, oh, Baby ABC. My new start, I'll pull my bin out to do to pull a new start to replace Halloween Spell. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to go over all my plans. I'll show you the upcoming Whip of Shame because by the time I get to film again, it's going to be in December. Because I will have my kids for the next week and a half. And so you'll get to see the end result of November's Whip of Shame plus about a week's worth of the December Whip of Shame. So I will be right back. Okay, welcome to my Monopoly game. So if you are new and you are wondering how you can play along at home, some people are like me and they have a whip assigned to each and every property on the board. Some people will have a project dedicated to one single token, and wherever that token lands, they put those stitches in on that whip. Some people will have whip for a color set, so that one, etc. Some people, a few people have a whip devoted to each side of the board, and so if a token lands on that side, they do the stitches for that. You can play with as many or as little as you like. I don't post on Instagram, but you can tag me on Instagram, let me know what you worked on. I am behind on looking at Instagram tags, but my handle over there is Jen the Caffeinated Crafter _ between all the words. And people are using the hashtag Jen's Monopoly Sal. And it's Jen with 2 N's. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see if I can actually learn how to count properly. And we're going to start with the cat, who is on luxury tax over here. 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, cat passed go. Landed on Connecticut. And Connecticut is purchased by the dog, so it will be paying rent on that piece. Okay, the dog is mistakenly on chance, but we're going to leave him there. So he's right here. And the dog is rolling an 8. 8, Jennifer. 6 plus 2 is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pennsylvania Railroad. And that is owned by the car, so it will be paying rent. And next up is the Thimble, which is on Vermont right here. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh! The Thimble will also be paying rent. And then the car, let me move the cat out of the way because I got to move this board. I'm going to slide this board up here because the car is way up here on B&O Railroad. 12. 6 and 6 is 12, Jennifer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Park Place! Oh my God! Park Place has not been purchased. So the car is going to buy Park Place. That's exciting. Okay, let's move on down here. Rolled doubles. It rolled 2 6s, so we're going to roll again. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pass go. Landed on Mediterranean. And Mediterranean Avenue is owned by the cat, so it will be paying rent. I got to think now of what I picked for the replacement, because the piece that I had for Mediterranean, I ended up UFOing, which I explained in a previous video. Now I got to think. I might just pick a completely different replacement because I didn't even write down what the replacement was going to be on here. It's still nativity motifs. Anyway, I will have all the stitch counts, the colors, the side that the piece landed on, so that in the description box down below, so that however you end up playing along with me at home, you have a way to reference and see what stitches you need to do without having to rewind and watch it over and over. So that's exciting. I'm going to gather all my stuff, get everything together, and we'll come back and we'll go over my plans for next week, the next week and a half. All right. Okay, I'm standing up because I have my bin of new starts. This is all stuff that's ready to be started. And I got to pull a replacement for Halloween Spell. I did put the other piece for it. I just buried it down in there. So it does still have the option of being picked, but let's just reach in. Pull one out. What's this one? Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So I'll show that in a few minutes. Let me get this out of the way. All right. And then one other thing I forgot to do was update this board. Where'd my marker go? Here it is. Got my Blues Clues marker. So this board here is where I have been tracking my finishes for the year. That stuff all got done. But we're tracking my finishes for the year. So we need to add on the 2 that I got done. So first one up is Calendar Girls April. And then the second one is Halloween Spell. And then over here, if y'all watched my 5,000 part whip parade at the end of the year last year, you'll see that I counted or called for 130 finishes this year. BS, I don't know what I was thinking. But I said realistically, let's see if I can actually get 20. I still don't know if I'm going to get that or not because I'm only at 13 for the year. I got 15 last year, so not too shabby. But let's go ahead and color in these 2 blocks here. Right there. So got that. So I still would have to get 7 more finishes by the end of, in the next like 5 weeks. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to hit the 20 that I thought I might be able to hit. It's okay though. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, so let's go over the plans. Okay. Sorry for like the sudden cutoff and the comeback. Like it was a thing. Okay. All right, let me go over what I'm going to be working on for the next week and a half. Okay. Yeah, anyway, let's go over my temperature stitching first. Okay, so the temperatures, starting with Thanksgiving Day through the following Thursday. Thanksgiving Day will be 83, projected high of 83, and then it will be 78, 68, 69, 65, 66, 69, 71. So temperatures are dropping next week, so that's wonderful. So I think this might be a little bit out of order here, but that's okay. All right, so for the number 3, this one is hands-on design. This is Let's Talk Stitching. And this temperature comes up, hang on, let me show you my starting point first. I'm doing it with the Call for DMC on, I think like a 16 count black Aida. This temperature comes up 1 time. So I will do 100 stitches on it, and I will continue working on the word Aida. That's gonna go right here. After, if that 100 stitches gets the word Aida, I don't know where I'm going to go after that. I don't know what I'm going to do. It'll be a surprise. But that's my starting point for that. So that'll get 100 stitches. Almost dropped my board. And then Cup of Cheer is assigned to, well, here, let me show you real quick. Cup of Cheer by Shannon Christine Designs is assigned to the number 1. I'm doing it with the Call for DMC on some kind of 14 count like gray blue Aida. And that is my starting point. So this is assigned to the number 1. This comes up 1 time in the upcoming week, so this will get another 100 stitches. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to stay in this blue cup, if I'm going to come over to the red cup, if I'm going to work on the words, if I'm going to work on finishing my little gingerbread man. I don't know yet. It'll be a surprise to us all. But this will get 100 stitches. Oh, Fuzz. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. You want to come over here and say hi? No. He's in here. He's sniffing around. I don't know why he's acting like he doesn't know what's happening. I do this every week. I do this every week. This is not news. Here, let me do that. You're going to come over this way? No. Next up, the one assigned to the number 6 is Haunted Library Sal. And this is from Lola Crow Cross Stitch. This is a Sal from 2022. That's a bad printout. Do not judge this Sal based on my printout. And this is my starting point. And this temperature, this is the number 6. This temperature comes up 1 time, so this will get 100 stitches on it. And I'm going to do it over here. This is the prologue. I'm very far behind on this Sal. Okay. I feel like I'm in a rush because I need to go get my kids. And I want to get this done before I go get them. Like filmed, not edited and uploaded, but at least filmed before I go get them. Because their dad doesn't know I have a Flosstube. And I don't want them spilling the beans. Not that he's going to watch. He doesn't give a shit about my stitching. But still, it's like weird when people know that you're like on YouTube. Okay, next up is the one that is assigned to the number, we'll do this one, the number 8. It's my newest one, Mother Nature Christmas, out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine from 2023. I don't remember the designer. I'm gonna have to look that up. And I have all the cross stitch magazines in the Readly, Readly app on my phone. I pay a monthly fee to have it, but it's totally worth it because I have all the magazines. Do I do all the stuff out of all the magazines? No, but I have access to them. And this is my starting point with her. So she's assigned to the number 8, and her temperature comes up twice, so she will get 200 more stitches. I will probably stay up in her head, I think. I don't know. I might change it, but that's my starting point. So she'll get 200 more stitches on her. Then next up is the Spanish sampler. Out of the 101 Best Loved Designs by Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. And just a reminder of what that's going to look like when it's done. And this temperature comes up, and just a reminder of my starting point, I'm just going to hold it up like this. This temperature comes up twice, so this will get another 200 stitches on it, and I will continue in that top band right there. So that's exciting. I really like this piece, so I'm super, and I know Yoshi, I know Yoshi really likes that piece too. He always messages me, oh my God, I love that piece so much. And then the next step for temperature stitching is Halloween Wishes, just a reminder, by Glen & Place. And again, a reminder of my starting point. I'm just going to hold this up like this. And this one, I forgot, is assigned to the number 5. This comes up once, so this will get 100 stitches. You know, I feel in my heart of hearts, I feel like all of my stitching is not very high. This would be the week where I should get higher stitch counts, because I'm not filming again until the following Friday. Like, it's a week and a half, and I'm off for 4 of those days from work. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that was everything for temperature stitching. Yeah, okay. So that's temperature stitching. Let me put this over here. Okay, I'm saving the whip of shame for the end. Monopoly. I left it over there. Hang on. Hang on one second. Okay, I actually planned to pause that time. Okay, so Monopoly. Cat Past Go. I left the whip over there. I'm just going to show you the cover photo anyway. What do I do with my tablet? Oh, it's right here in front of my face. So just a reminder of Passing Go is this piece here. I left my whip sitting in the chair over there, so I'm not going to pull it back out. But I'm going to do 200 more stitches for Passing Go. And then Connecticut was already owned. It landed on Connecticut, and Connecticut was already owned by the dog. And so it's just 50 stitches for rent because it's on side 1. But this is Summertime by Stitch Rovia. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And that is my starting point on it. So I might stay up here somewhere. I don't know yet. It's only 50 stitches I have to do. I might bump it up and do an even 100 on it. That's why I'm upping my stitch counts for Monopoly, so I don't end up with something like 50 stitches. But then the dog landed on Pennsylvania Railroad, and the thimble landed on Pennsylvania Railroad. And that is owned by the car, and that is Summer Sampler by Cooler Design Studio. Artwork by Sandy Orton. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So this one, the rent on side 2 is 100 stitches. Yeah. Right? Let me double check myself. Yeah. 100 stitches, but since two tokens landed on this, this will end up getting 200. This is my starting point. All that's left in this little section right here is, did I finish the back stitching on this? No. I'm going to finish back stitching this little house here. I know I was over here, so I just got to finish up the back stitching in here. Double check and make sure I got it all over here, but I'm pretty sure I did. I think it was just the house here, and then I'm going to start working on, there's a tomato seed packet right here. I'll start with that so that I can back stitch that part right there. But 200 stitches will go in on this. And then the car rolled doubles, landed on Park Place, which is exciting. Nobody owns Park Place, and purchase price on side 4 is 400 stitches. My Park Place piece is Nightingale by Mirabilia. That's what she's going to look like when she's done. And let me double check. Yes. Oh, son of a motherless goat. Y'all know what I did? I need 2 Krynics for this piece, and I only purchased 1. Oh, that's annoying. Why did I do that? Oh dear. This is the floss for Halloween wishes. Oh, brother. Jennifer, what is wrong with you? I needed 2 Krynics for this. I don't have it, right? No. I have the beads. I got the beads and got the bead pack for it, the embellishment pack, and I got the Karen water lilies. And I needed 2 Krynics. One of them I got. That one. I don't know why I didn't get the other one. 052F. Son of a bitch. That's all right. I'll get it later. Nightingale. All right. So she will get 400 stitches. None of them will be in the Kreinik 052F. And that's my starting point. I just started her this year, so that's my starting point with her. But now that I have the other Kreinik, I could go ahead and add that in, because I think there's a few spots where I skipped because I didn't have that Kreinik. Okay, I cannot believe I did that. What is wrong with me? All right, so she will get 400 stitches, and oh, so the reindeer stocking will actually get 400 stitches. Woo! Because the car had rolled doubles, landed on Park Place, passed go, rolled again, passed go. So the cat and the car both need to put stitches in on the stocking for passing go. So that's going to get 400 stitches. And the car landed, oh no, landed on Mediterranean. And I do not for the life of me remember what I picked for a replacement piece on it. One second. I'm losing my mind. That's what happens when I'm like in a rush. Okay, so I don't remember what I picked. I don't care. We're going to forget what I said earlier. I just reached into my closet and pulled an easy whip out. It's going to be this one, Bee Gnome by Cute Bordery. And so Pasco landed on Mediterranean. The Thimble owns Mediterranean Avenue, so this is going to get rent of 50 stitches, and that is my starting point. This is another one of those 14 count Charles Craft Adas, like the printed ones, but that's my starting point with that. So we are subbing out nativity motifs for Bee Gnome, since nativity motifs ended up being a UFO because of inability to read the chart through no fault of my own. But yeah, so this will be the new Mediterranean Avenue. It's only until the end of the year anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that'll get 50 stitches. So again, I might bump that up to 100 just to make my life easier when I'm posting on my games. Okay. Bake Off. So did I do Bake Off? Did I already do the Bake Off? No. Where did my Bake Off piece go? I'm so confused. Where did my piece go that I'm working? Oh, here it is. I had it in the wrong file. Okay. All right. So for Great British Bake Off, I'm on week number 5 now. Slight spoilers, but I'm not saying who got what. So spoiling, but not spoiling in the fact that nobody got a handshake in week 5. I will say that. The person who was eliminated had a stitch count assigned to them of 600 stitches, and the person who got Star Baker had a stitch count assigned to them of 100 stitches. So total stitch count for Honeymoon Sunset, my big piece, my big huge piece, is going to be 700 stitches that will need to go in on this. And then there's 8 bakers left in week number 5. So it'll be 8 times 25 and 8 times 50. And the bakers who got first and last place were both odd stitch counts. So they will both have the same thing. So the stitch count, sorry, my son just texted me. So my technical stitches, I'm sorry, that was for technical stitching. I'm like so out of sorts right now. My technical stitches for the odd people is Bake the World from Franny Ritter Design. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point. And this will get a total of 600 stitches. So we'll see where I end up with on this. There is probably a lot more than what it looks like needs to be done, but we'll see where I end up after 600 stitches. The replacement piece for Calendar Girls, I'm going to replace it with another Calendar Girls piece. I just have not decided which one it's going to be yet. We'll go over that like another week, next week. But it will be another Calendar Girls piece. Okay, and then my weekly stitching. My non-full coverage that I pulled is a kit from Design Works. This is Baby ABC. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is, I feel like I've been working on this carriage forever, but that's my starting point. So we'll see how much I can get done on this. I have a goal of 5,000 stitches before it gets replaced. But again, all this is changing at the end of the year, so it really doesn't matter. And then my full coverage piece, I'm excited about this, is Fairy Tale Cottage. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It's nice that, well, I'll go over this when I show it. But that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I converted this, so I've kind of, like, I was working on this area the past, like, year or two. But then I counted over. Okay, making sure I started on the right row after what happened to me with Peaceful Jaguar. But I counted over to the right, upper right corner, and I'm working in the diagonal now. So I will fill that diagonal in and keep working down from the top right corner. So we'll see how much I can get done on this. I love this piece, so I am excited that it got pulled. This will definitely get worked on, faux show, because I love it. Okay. Then my piece for my son, Yippee-Ki-Yay, will get worked on as well. We'll see how much I can get done on that. My new start, so my new starts that I pull have goals of 3,000 stitches. So this is actually a restart. It is an old Jan Lane kit called Snowy Days. I really thought that the piece was cute, but I hated the fabric that it was being stitched on because it was stamped, but all the lines ran together. But this was a stamped piece in that it has the pattern. So what I did was I purchased a piece of 28 count opalescent Lugana, 32 count white opalescent Lugana. So I'm going to restart it, and I have all the floss. I still have the floss. So I'll probably end up using it, but it does have the DMC colors on it. But I'm going to restart it on that, and I think it's going to look much better. I'm going to do it 2/2. Okay, and then I'm going to keep working on my Whip of Shame to get the stitches needed. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm in such a rush now because now he's texting me, are you coming over soon? So I will finish off my stitches for the Whip of Shame. I feel like it's like not a lot, but a lot at the same time that I have to work on. But it is a week and a half. So, okay. End of the show. I'm showing you the Whip of Shame winner for December. So, I had y'all vote between two pieces. And these were the pieces that you guys voted on. They were both dimensions. One's a gold collection, one's a regular one. This one is 3 Bird Watchers. This one is Magnificent Wizard. I had y'all vote over the past 2 weeks which one you wanted to see me work on in the month of December. I had a feeling that people were going to vote for the 3 Bird Watchers because it's cats and it's Christmassy. And I had 29 votes for Wizard. Now, I will say I did work on this one already. 135 votes for this one. Y'all really wanted to see me work on 3 Bird Watchers. Like, holy cow. So, Magnificent Wizard did not win. So, he will go back in the pile. But this will be my Whip of Shame for the month of December. 3 Bird Watchers. 3 kittens looking out the window at the birds. Super cute. Love it. And somebody had said, oh, I'm voting for 3 Bird Watchers because you love cats and it'll make you smile. And you are absolutely right. It will make me smile. Okay, so I'm using everything that comes in the kit. I'm going to go ahead and show you my before photo. I think I have a working copy of the pattern that is like the left-hand side. I don't know if I'm going to stay completely over. This is my starting point with it. I don't know if I'm going to stay completely over here and work my way down, but I do. I think the working copy of the pattern, the page that I copied ends right there, and there is an entire bird that goes right here. So I might go ahead and work on the bird. the bird's tail starts, I was trying to find where the bird's tail went. The bird's tail starts like right here, right there. So I might go ahead and work on the bird first, but that's my starting point. So this will get 3,100 stitches on it in the month of December. Okay. I feel like that's a lot of stitches, but not a lot of stitches projects to work on. But I do have a week and a half to do it. Okay, so those are my plans for the upcoming week. I'm very excited to see all the progress I'm going to get on everything. I will plan on, what I will end up having to do is for my November update, I won't be able to film that until the first weekend of December. But I want to give I may go ahead and just include the first, because it's going to be, so I won't be able to film a Flosstube until December the 6th. That'll be my regular Flosstube, will be December the 6th. I won't be able to film an update for November until either the 6th or Saturday on the 7th. So what I might end up doing is any projects that I work on for the rest of the month, because it's only about 4 more days, 3 days. I will take pictures on the 30th of everything I've worked on, and anything oh God, what am I trying to say? Because I want to do before and after for the month of November, right? When I do my November update for stats. So some of them you'll get to see me holding up the after, but there are some that you might have to see photos if I work on it that first week of December. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I also plan on filming hopefully next weekend I'll be able, or that weekend I'll be able to do a stitch with me. And I'm also going to film my plans video for 2025, and I'm going to have a help me pick video also. I will explain more about that in my plans video, but I have a lot of plans for 2025, and some of them involve you guys voting for projects for me to work on. So that's going to be exciting. And so I will have a separate video for that, because I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. So I'll have one video for the plans, just explaining what the plans are going to be. And then I'll have another video to help me pick whips to work on for a certain part of my plans. And I also have to start filming my whip parade. I have a lot of projects to show, because I'm not going to show stuff that is waiting to be started. I'm going to show the stuff that I have already started, even if I haven't worked on it this year, because I have projects I have not worked on this year. I have a lot of projects I've started this year. So I will be showing everything that has been started already. That will be in my whip parade. And I will also need to film, so I have my plans video, help me pick video, the whip parade, and I'm also going to film a video showing you what projects are going to be in the plans for next year, the part that you don't pick. I'll show you those in a separate video as well. A lot of filming to do over the next few weeks. So any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. I hope it was not too terribly rushed. I do apologize for that. Again, I have to go get my kids, and they're my son's texting me while I'm trying to film, and apparently I have it set so that his calls and messages come through over the do not disturb, and it's distracting me. So I'm but I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. And I hope that everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Eat lots of food, spend time with friends and family, don't get too drunk, take a nap, watch some football if you like to do that. And if you are not in the US, I hope you have a great Thursday tomorrow. But if you are in the US, hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I will. I'm going to have a lot of fun making an entire Thanksgiving dinner that will feed like 10 people and just feed myself and my 2 kids and 1 plate for my coworker. But anyway, take care. Happy stitching. Get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.